Hello visitors of the internet and welcome to this video where today I will be attempting to build a Kei Car sporty thing with this body, which is just back here. I am set to 2018, so we can build the most modern car possible. Now this body, it's only something like 2005, but that's what I'm limited to. There's not much I can do beyond a 2005 body. I can't modernise it because there's no newer body that meets the key requirements, I guess you could say. Anyway, space frame! No. It has to be a realistic car. What Kei car is going to have a space frame? It's a bit too advanced. We could go with perhaps a semi-space frame. I don't think they're as absurd. Sorry, I can kind of speak. I don't think they're absurdly expensive, so I think we can afford to put one on our car. I've gone with partial aluminium here. We can probably go with full aluminium, make it a full aluminium car if we have to. It has to be longitudinal rear-wheel drive, because there's no mid-engine rear drive option, and I don't want to make it front-wheel drive, because where's the fun in that? The fun is having the world's smallest rear-wheel drive car, so to speak. McPherson strut front, I think, and trailing arm perhaps on the back. The cheapest we can have independent suspension on a car like this, although the rear is technically semi-independent. It'll do the job. The main objective is to get it light, so as long as it's light, the exact suspension type won't matter. Remember, we're only going to be pushing, what, 64 horsepower from it? Now, we could go with an inline 3 or an inline 4. I think my viewers are getting tired of my obsession with inline 3s by this point, so should we go with that, or should we go with a V6? Nah, I don't want to go too crazy. We could go with that. No, I think inline 4. There's not many options you can use, though. We could actually, you know what? Let's build a tiny, tiny flat 4. What isn't brilliant about that idea? So I can mainly have the stroke to pull it down and use the bore, as I am doing now, to just get that last bit. So 660cc, it is the limit of Kei cars. It has to be aluminium to save weight. I'm going to keep going on about it, but weight is crucial here. It's crucial that we don't waste anything. We could go with single overhead cam, 4 valve per cylinder. I'm not sure if that will save weight over dual overhead cam, but for the time being, I will have to just assume that it will. I don't think cast iron are ideal things for this. So we have all these stuff. We have low friction cast, and we have however you say that. The world's most unpronounceable piston name. Which is the weight, does it say? Ooh, low friction cast is incredibly light, so I think I'll go with that. Ooh, lightweight forged, that is very light. There's lightweight forged here as well. Heavy duty forged and lightweight forged actually seem to weigh the same. Maybe it's more to do with balancing than actual weight, so heavy duty forged. Try and just save any amount of weight I can. We could go with billet steel here. Yeah, sure. It's probably far over-engineered having that crankshaft on here, but it saves weight, and saved weight means more efficiency for the car, even if it's such a tiny, tiny amount. In my head, it matters. We need variable valve timing, again in my head. I'll go with a naturally aspirated engine here if I can, actually, to save weight, and we'll go with a multi-point electronic injection system. I don't think we'll need direct injection to get the performance I'm looking for. And it's not like this makes any difference to weight, so there's no reason to, honestly. Fuel mixture, we could go lean, which is what I'll try and do. And long tubular with dual exhaust and bypass valves. They should be able to get a lot smaller though, so that's no real issue. Reverse flow on the first muffler and no second muffler. Already we're at 37 horsepower. Remember, it's a tiny, tiny engine, so to just make this power off the bat is not bad at all. And there we go. That's the power. Oh, maybe I need a single exhaust. So it makes 41 with the dual exhausts. Nah. Fully and small and dual exhaust seems to be as good as it's going to get. 12.7. They are tiny exhausts. I've never had that problem before, though. Where they might have to be, you know, where they might just be too small. Well, they're not too small, but I guess you could say something along those lines. And you wouldn't be crazy far off. No. So, up you go. 49.50. This car likes to rev. Wow. 16,100 the crankshaft can apparently rev up to. It's a bit of a beast. But anyway, I have no issues revving this thing now, just seeing what it can do. And 8,300. Try and keep it at that high RPM zone. It kind of drops in a very odd way. It struggles a bit to get up there, but, you know, once it's up, it's up. All naturally aspirated engine power, remember. We're not using any of them stinking turbos here in my shop. Can we... Oh, yes, we can. It wants bigger exhausting now. 6,500 RPMs. 6,700. 6,700 RPMs I noticed. And there we go. So 62. Does high flow? Yeah, high flow increases it just enough, I think. How about weight? What is the weight between high flow? If there's a difference, it's so tiny no one's going to notice. It sounds so good, actually. It's just under 63 horsepower, 62.9. And torque is about the same, actually, 60.3. So, where do I want to limit the revs to? Ooh, apparently, although it looks awkward, the engine likes to rev all the way up to 9,500. You'll see, it just looks a little lumpy, but it is, in fact, able to keep going there and make good power. So, who can complain? It stays over 60, and that's really what you want when we're talking about a car like this. Is this still on the single overhead cam, actually? I didn't look. Yes, it is. So, 58.8 kilograms. Oh, it is lighter. At least for a 4-valve per cylinder engine. Now, I could, if I desperately wanted to, take valves per cylinder off. It'd save a bit of weight, but I don't think I need to. And... famous last words, eh? They could be. Ooh, felt like it was going to crash there. Recording saved, so yeah, just a good thing to generally do. We could have this folding hardtop, but that probably adds weight. At least in my head it does. Because I remember in, I think it was Gran Turismo 4, maybe 5 and 6 as well, was the Daihatsu Copen hardtop and softtop, and the hardtop was something like 100 kilos heavier. I mean, sure, it's nice to have a gimmick of a hardtop, but if it comes at the cost of weight, then that is its own downside. Mind, the Copen was never the hardcore sports car. There's more of a Honda Beat, Honda S660 for that, if you actually wanted to modify them into some kind of performance car. It was a bit more of a poser, to be honest, back in its day. And there is our car. I wonder if we could make this look like an Aston Martin. It does vaguely look like one. So if we could make like a miniaturized Aston Martin, that would be pretty fun. How do these look on it? Are these S2000 lights? I'd really not know, but I guess they were. They look okay. Don't look too bad, but I'm not sure. So, where were some lights? Ooh, Lamborghini lights. Let's see. I think I can make these work. If I can make these work, I will be so happy. And you go like so. No, that's too low. If I go and maybe rotate them like that. Yeah, I'm not sure this is working as intended. Is that good enough? Will a prospective buyer look at that and say, this is a aggressive enough car for me? Probably not, but do you ever look at Kei sports cars and think that? And no, we don't want all-wheel drive, it adds weight. Why don't I just make it front-wheel drive if it adds weight? Because... oh, that really took its time. I think it was because it was simulating the engine. It scared me. And we have here got a good flat 4 unit. Sits quite far back in the chassis, as you'll see. Should be quite smooth for, well, smooth power delivery. It's got the same suspension as an old BMW has. And we're going to have a manual transmission. I'd say a 6-speed. That's probably all we need. Do we need an open differential? Technically, we'd probably only need an open differential. But I'd go with a vicious limited slip differential because I'm nice. No, because I think we need to extract every tiny bit of performance from this tiny micro car, really. We'll go with some hard long lives, 165s, and... or maybe we'll go with 155s even. Nah. Definitely no narrower than 155s. It's supposed to be a sports car. Imagine the sight of that. It'll just be sliding everywhere. We can have alloys, sure. And maybe even magnesium. It must save weight. Yeah, I'm going with magnesium wheels. Because it's affordable, but I don't know. No, I want this to be mass producible though. Can you mass produce them? I don't know. Magnesium wheels would definitely not be as mass producible as alloys, so I'm going with alloys for that reason alone, because it's going to be an affordable car that can be mass produced, so we have to have components that will do such. We want it to perform on a track, so I'd say 2-piston vented discs on the front and drums on the rear. The reason I'm cheaping out on the rear brakes is because they're not as important. All of the braking is going to be done on the front. At least that's how I perceive it to be. So, yeah, that's how I'm going about it. We'll go with no under tray for the time being. I may change that later. Oh dear, that would be uncomfortable. 3 people in one of these cars. Yeah. Even if you went with a McLaren F1 style seating, it would just be so uncomfortable. You'd have arms in other people's faces, and whenever you try and change gear, because it's a manual, and yeah, it's not going to change gear for you. We'll go with a I think we'll go with a basic interior, to be honest. It's going to be light. It's going to be lighter than sport, I think. Is it 34? Sport will be expensive though. I'll have a look at that. I might actually put a sport interior in. It weighs the same as the very basic one, so you know it's a compelling reason to go such a way with it. Power steering, we shouldn't need any. If this is as light as I'm hoping it is it showing that weight yet? No. Traction assists, we'll probably want all of them. They don't add much weight at all, and the markets usually really like them. But we don't need power steering. Just not necessarily if the car weighs something like 800 kilograms. Safety, we'll have some basic 10s. And springs will go, I think standard with gas monotube should make, or standard twin tube even. Very basic suspension, but it should give a good sporting feel. Same with the sway bars. I might change that though. Sport. Oh dear. No, how is this an off-road budget? Someone tell me. The car tends to oversteer. Right, first things first, adjust the tyres. Something's wrong with it though. Why is it seeing it as an off-road budget more than anything? There's got to be some serious problem. The front tyres are wide for the chosen tyre compound. No, you're telling me the tyres are too wide? How could you? The rear tyres are wide now, apparently. They're 155s. Seriously. They are some narrow tyres. And we have some high brake force, apparently. It's 700 kilos, so my weight reduction has worked quite well, I would say. Even if it's not the lightest thing on the road, I've got it down to a very, very reasonable weight. And it's just, where is the market? I know where I want it to sit. I want it to sit as a kind of lightweight sports car, but where is the lightweight sitting? 54% front weight balance. It's got a fair amount of weight at the front, but that's not bad. Wow. I say that 55 miles per gallon is to be expected, but it's from a car I built. I'm normally dreadful at these kinds of things. How have I got a car so good? To be fair, it is very light, but nonetheless, 55 miles per gallon. I'm proud. Well done me. Now, because of what this car is, I'm going to tighten up the gears just to make sure I can get every bit of speed from it. I mean, I'm treating it like a real sports car. Just because it might be a Kei car is no exception. I'm treating this like a real sports car. It may only do just a shade over 100 miles per hour, but that is no excuse to be slow around the corners and slow everywhere else. Slow for acceleration, for example. So 105... No, 10.5, sorry, that was the acceleration. 10.6... And can I, ooh, if I stretch the gears just a bit, it gets quicker to 60, okay. 10.4 and 44 46. 10.3. Okay. There we go. So that's about as quick as it's going to accelerate. Miles per gallon is probably not as good as it's going to get, but it's over 50, so quite frankly, who cares? And we've got the convertible body. Yes, we have. We could have an advanced or automatic or a sequential or whatever. I think it only needs a manual. Maybe that would help on the market though, so I don't know. It hurts the miles per gallon ever so slightly. Why am I even thinking about this? It's not a worry at all. So we can have the weight. If it stays under 700, maybe I'll be reasonably happy. And it's over 700, just my luck. So that adds weight. Oh dear. I don't really want to add complexity then. I'll just go with a conventional manual if it saves weight, because that's the main priority of what I'm going for with this car. Sport compound. Chunky off-road. I don't know. How does it perform better on off-road budget when it's not on off-road tyres? That improves aerodynamics. Having a semi-clad under tray. I don't think it needs a downforce under tray. I'm not going to go through with that because, well, it's light enough. So what else do we have? Sport. And it has put weight on. I was pretty sure that wouldn't put weight on. But I could still do it because it's a lot nicer in the interior. So if the comfort is necessary, then maybe that's something I'll do. Yeah, that adds weight and it's unnecessary. Just how? How do I get you to compete? You're not happy anywhere in Gazmere. Arcania likes it. Arcania loves this car, in some places at least. Maybe it's just too expensive for what it is. That would be my only guess. Track budget here. In Deluha, it does pretty well. Track budget here. So, track budget in Arcania and Deluha, it does pretty well. Now, Deluha, they don't like it that much, but hey, they can afford it. Arcania, maybe they can't afford it as much, but they love it. Then track is probably the better choice, actually. Oh, there's even lightweight sport, so that's a thing. Yeah, I think a track car for Arcania is probably the best place to advertise this. We'll have to adjust the oversteering. The engine is underpowered for the car's weight. Consider using a more powerful engine. Well, that isn't an option due to the regulations, so the only thing I can do to make it feel more powerful is reduce the weight. So, semi-space frame now. Maybe I can save a bit of weight here. I didn't think I would be able to, but maybe I will be able to. Corrosion resistant steel, AHS steel. That is 18 for engineering time. Same engineering time, so maybe I'll have to just put some more engineering time into the chassis itself. Light AHS steel. Then there's glued aluminium, but it's limited production, okay. There's a lot of engineering time here, just to save a few kilos, but then so it will have to be. As a track car, although, sorry, as I was saying, as a track car, I guess it could do without some infotainment, so we could probably kind of trade that, so to speak. It does not have comfort. It does not have comfort at all. Yeah, the market doesn't like it, but I could try and get them to like it. This, as I say, it's all we've got. We can't go with more power. We could use a turbocharger to try and get more torque, but I don't think that's going to make a huge difference, honestly, in what is a very light car. We could try a space frame, but then again, no mass production, so yes. Light truck unitary, and that is heavier. So light AHS steel is pretty good. And it's not aluminium like a semi-space frame, so I'm not sure if that means it's going to be more solid as well. I'm really not sure. Unfortunately, reducing the weight means it's going to be more front heavy, meaning it's reducing the balance of the car all at the same time. And we have McPherson strut front, double wishbone. How does that change it? That's slightly heavier, but do they like it? Yeah, interesting. They do not like that one bit. They would really rebel. Although they like having double wishbone on the back, just not on the front. We could have multi-link. So, I think this might be more of a comfort thing, but we can have multi-link on the back, which costs quite a bit. And we could have push rod on the back, which saves a bit of money. So how does double wishbone compare to push rod? 237.1. I think push rod is probably a better way of going about it. So, there we go. And yeah, I'm relatively happy with that. Even though I wouldn't normally go with push rod, I feel in this case maybe I can get away with it. We have the summary as well. Maybe I can gain back some points, so to speak, from just having the settings correct on the suspension. So, nope, you don't like comfort. You like that a bit more. 235.7. No. 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 So, they like sport, which I guess isn't a surprise. Maybe I could lower it some more as well. Yeah, they really like lowered sport suspension. Wait, was that? That was strange. It kind of went down and then up, I think. 0.6, 0.5, 0.8, 0.3. Oh. Okay. There we go. So that's as low as the vehicle will possibly go. That's slammed to the ground. Don't ask me why the markets love it. They just love the feeling of having wooden suspension, I guess. It's a pure race car, essentially. That's what it is. Now, the under tray. We could go with one of these, so 238, 239.4, so we do like that. 241.9. Yeah, they like having a fully clad, probably because, again, it makes it a bit more aerodynamic. It's going to add weight, or 671.6, so, yeah. It adds something like 15 kilos, but in this case, I think it's worth it because it will improve aerodynamics to such an extent that the car is going to go quicker. Remember, we're still under 700 kilos. We're still in the 600s, so there's no problem with that. We can deal with it. The sportiness is pretty low, probably because of the power output. I wonder if we could put the sport interior on and improve that. No. Okay. Basic, and do they like it though? 231.3, 241.9. No. They want some basic infotainment though. No, they're just happy with how I set that up. And we don't want power steering. We like electric variable. However, there is added weight, so yeah, should we go with electric variable, so to speak? I can speak. 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that adds 6 kilograms. Again, I'm hating myself for doing this, but since the market is pleased with the result of the electric variable, maybe I should put it on and just let them enjoy having assisted steering. I wouldn't say it needs launch control. Apparently, they prefer having launch control on it, and just as I suspected. However, I don't know why, honestly. So that's 247.4 for basic safety, but they do want some safety. So, yeah. Safety isn't a big one. It does add weight. There's no denying that. Although I don't think there's a difference between basic 10s and basic 1000s for weight. But the markets appreciate basic 2000s slightly more. So I will adhere to their needs. And track premium, it's pretty good there. But track is where it's really at home. And it's a bit expensive, but if people like it, then I guess they would pay for it. We'll go and improve the brakes after we've improved the wheels. The dampers are apparently hard, okay. What's the weight balance, though? 55% front, that's what I was saying. It can only get worse after this stage, so 247.3. And what's it saying about the dampers? Front dampers are hard. Front dampers, Ubisoft. Rear dampers, Ubisoft. The engine is underpowered. I get the message. I agree it's underpowered, but quite frankly, I can't do anything about it. The front brake force is very high compared to grip. Now, this is perhaps where it gets good. We can start reducing the brake force and other such. The rear tyres, though, are apparently wide. I don't get where it comes up with these preconceptions from, but if it believes the rear tyres are wide, then so maybe they will have to be narrower. The rear tyres are wide. There we go. 145s. The same width tyres as the old Minis had, actually. Given a Mini Cooper S back in the 60s did have more power than this, so, you know, it's not out of the question entirely that 145s are the tyres it should have. I think actually I should go slight wide body. No, I can't break the Kei Car regulations, can I? I've just been stupid, I'm sorry. If I do go trying to make it a wide body, I'll break the Kei Car regulations and it won't fit in the class anymore. So yeah, just leave it at that. Leave it there, because I think that's about where it was anyway. That's 80 out there. And I think that should be pretty good. Should have very cheap tyre replacements at least. We have 15-inch wheels. Do they prefer smaller? Yes, they do. But does smaller look stupid on this car? Kind of. I could probably get away with one size down. 14 inches is probably as small as I could get away with, though. 15s look okay. But, like, I could possibly get away with that, but it just doesn't look as good. That must be said. And steel, alloy, magnesium. No, although we do like it. Yeah, that is a huge improvement going to medium compound. Whoa. 274.9. 280. Okay. And the engine is underpowered. Look, I'm not giving it semi-slicks, no matter how hard you beg. I appreciate you have needs, but semi-slicks is just a step too far. Because Sport Compound will easily satisfy the grip needs of this car, even on 145s. It will easily satisfy the grip needs, so yeah. 274.9 though, and 90.3 for affordability. So we're above 90 there, which is something I can say. And brakes, where are we? The front brake force is very, very high, apparently. And you can go down. I think we only need one piston, to be honest. The front brake force is high. How about drums? Really? You're still complaining that... Oh. I was going to say, you're still complaining that the front brake force is too high. I went to drum brakes. The rear brake force is low compared to grip. Okay. So, I need to move the bias more frontwards, I would guess, where the solid discs lie. And 63. The rear brake force is low. 63, 60. No, not 62. I want more to go to the front. Righty-o. This isn't working as I'd hoped. 68. 69, 70. The brakes show slight fade. Well, they would, given how tiny they are. Solid discs, though. All around. Oh dear. Vented discs. They have got so massive and somehow heavy. What will I do? Wow. They are apparently a lot heavier than drums. Drum SLS and Drum 2LS. They're similar on the front, but on the back, the weight difference is pretty big, actually. Maybe because it goes to 6 piston units. Oh dear. The engine is underpowered. So I can make these brakes bigger now, right? Vented discs will be lighter weight, I would guess. And front can be made bigger, can it? The front brake force is very high compared to grip. And it's still very high compared to grip. Come on. There we go. And will the rear brake force become high compared to grip? Probably not. So, how is this? The rear brake force is very high now compared to grip. So, yeah, I can make those smaller. $160. Interesting. So I can definitely go with some powerful brakes. The front brake force will no doubt eventually get too powerful. But not after too long, because it doesn't need a huge amount of brake performance to get high compared to the grip. There we go, 220mm front, 160 rear. They are not massive brakes in the slightest, but they're enough to give this vehicle some slowdown. And it is perhaps needing some beautification now. The wheels are 15s currently, and they are not the biggest, so I'm going to need to do something. They work. Ooh, they look interesting. Maybe they're from the 80s, but nonetheless. They look okay. Yeah, let's go with them. Even though they're probably not from this era of vehicle. They're like an RX-7 would have. We'll go and add a grille now. Ooh, let's have an upside down GTR grille. Or maybe not even upside down. That needs some thinking about. It looks okay. I'm not sure it looks as good as I would like it to. Right, so flip it up. This is going to be an angry car. It's a track car for angry days at the track where you do angry things and beat up Porsches. Well, maybe not the last part. That's just something I said out of anger, because everyone who owns these is angry in some way or another. Come on. There we go. And I think I should be able to add something or other. Technically that's a bumper bar, but for what I'm doing I should be able to get away with it. Come on. Down we go. Add all of the glam, all of the chrome. There we go. And we can go, maybe, no. We need some chrome around the rim. There. Same with the other grille. Not other grille, they were headlights. They weren't even a grille in the first place. But we do that and it soon begins to match up with that bumper bar. And it gives us kind of a cohesive grille design. We can also do what I was originally intending to do. Flip that up. Ooh, this looks menacing now. Make it carbon fibre there. If it's not going to match the chrome, at least make it out of some kind of premium material. You know, carbon fibre wouldn't work that well on most everyday cars because it's expensive. However, if you're not intending to sell loads and loads of them, you could get away with it. Right, so we need some indicators. And we'll have these ones. There we go. It could be worse. No, it's just that part at the bottom, it just really puts me off. It starts so good, and then it gets ruined. So, what can we do down here? We can have a cage for the indicators. We can also have a front lip, so that can go up a little. Yes, I think this is coming together now, actually. So that can stay there. Bring these forwards. And There we go. And there we go. So we have the lip. The lip can go there, perhaps. Maybe we could make it just a little smaller. There we go. And I wouldn't say I like it the hugest amount, but it's better. Now these do need to move into a more preferable position. And we'll go... No, can't go with the elite there. Can go with this one though, because front plates have to be white. Come on. Number plates aren't showing up apparently. They've all gone on holiday. And that is that. So, what do we have for door handles? Wing. We need a wing, actually, as well. Let's add this one. That would be brilliant. Yes, excellent. And we need to... I didn't think I would actually get the Lamborghini lights working, but hey, look at that, I have. We need a badge. This is going to be a simple car, maybe. You are going to go just here, where a badge normally would go. And we'll have one on the back as well, the back of which is not designed yet. There we go. It looks weird. It's like really hardcore, but then it's convertible. It's just not what you expect in the slightest. Right, so the tail lights, I have an idea, very vaguely, of what I'm going to do. It doesn't seem like it can get what I want. Oh well, I'll have to make do with these. And this can go duplicate. Duplicate. And how does that look? Pretty terrible if I do say so myself. They are minuscule lights and they just don't work in the slightest. If I want to get them to work, I need something better. Can I flip these upside down? Oh yes. Can we minimize them? Perhaps if I do this correctly. There we go. I'm surprised I got those to work on the back in the way. I'm surprised I got the front lights to work. Now we need the handles. Which handles are we going to use? Not those ones, they're too old-fashioned. We could go with these modern-ish ones. They seem to fit. There we go. And the back needs more. It needs an evil smile. That's what it needs. Even though there's no engine there, I'm going to put a grille and I'm going to have just an evil smile for those who have just been overtaken. How is that? It looks very evil. Now, we need a pair of exhausts because, remember, it is a dual exhaust setup, so maybe there. No, that one won't work. We'll go plop. Do we have a diffuser? I'm sure there was a diffuser or something in a mod. If only I knew where. We do need mirrors. I've just seen something that reminded me of that. We'll go mirror the exhaust though. Oh, how is that for a nose? Yes. Look at that. It just doesn't really work, but at the same time, it's pretty funny, so I can forgive it. The front is just so good, and then the back is like a joke. Honestly. We can go... Ooh, there it is, diffuser. I found one. It has exhaust cut out, so what if I don't need them? I guess they're just there. I know. We can do so without one. And there is our vehicle, I guess. The diffuser does a thing, even if it's not functional. It makes the car look better overall, and it is actually not the worst design in the world that someone could come up with. Now, overall, we have to add the mirrors. How could I forget? And we have to get the pillars as well. So I think these, instead of being what they were, which was plastic, I should just paint them the car colour. So if we paint the car, say, whatever this is. Oh yes, let's have a car in this colour. I'm not sure where I've used this before, but I fancy using it again. So again, we'll get that. Yep. Once it's all matched up, it looks pretty good. I don't think we can change the roof, unfortunately. Could change the window trim to something. Yeah, actually, let's change. We could change that to steel or even chrome, because we have got some chrome on the car, just not the hugest amount, as you'll see on the front. And on the back there is a little bit of chrome accents here and on the exhaust and on that handle. So yeah, that does fit with what's going on. Also, for the mirrors and bumper bar, which I have decided just needs to be added. Come on, you can go. No, you don't work as I thought you might. So you can just go on the side as an extra little bit. And then chrome, mirror, check that's mirrored properly on everything. Is this properly connected? I don't know. So there we go. That is vaguely finished. It's a poser. Now, it's a serious sports car, only it's a Kei car. Yeah, I like the engine. The engine's pretty good, even if it's not perfect. We have other things to sort. they like the suspension system in general. Although this car fails at so much, it's where it succeeds that is important. That's how I like to see it. It might fail in so many places, but in some it succeeds. It's vaguely sporty. I'm sure when I drive it, it'll be more fun than this game suggests it is, though. So, what have we got? We've got 11.4 for comfort, which is nothing. Although it is good off-road, strangely. Differentials. We could afford perhaps a differential. 77, 78, and geared limited slip differential. So I'm not sure. 10.7 is what it seems to be doing now. It's a bit heavier, just over 700 kilos though. We are not talking about a heavy car by any means. We're just talking about a car that's no longer as light as it once was. And it'll do 10.4 to 60. Again, not bad for a small Kei car. Remember, it's built to a very tight set of city car regulations for it to be kind of affordable and doing this. I don't think that's bad. Now, 10.4 and do you want 1C to under? Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not shipping this with 1C because it's just not what car it is. I don't mind changing it to make it a bit more of a track car, but if it fundamentally hurts what the car is, then I'm not going to do it. So, 286, 287, 88. Okay. It likes being low, or they like it being low, should I say. 288.5, 290.7, they like that. And 294.4, 295.8. Okay. So, adaptive dampers. That seems to have improved it slightly. Probably the comfort level not being quite as terrible, to be honest. Although they want it to sit lower. Mind, it has got just a little higher in this case. So 295.1 is achieved by making it just a touch higher. So maybe they're beginning to learn, but they still have a long way to go. Anyway, I think it's time to export it now. Just check over. So 48.5 miles per gallon. Boy, that has got worse. But it still is pretty good, let's be honest. That is still the same. I'm inclined to say power steering is just not necessary. I'm sorry, but as much as they might not agree with me on this front, it's just not necessary. I can hit sub 700 and it'll give that steering a direct feel as well, as opposed to an artificial assisted feel. So, yeah, I'll go with it. Well, I'll go with it. They like standard springs. They don't want any fancy progressive springs. They just want them standard old springs. Now they want to be low again. Now it's living the low life. It just slammed itself to the ground out of a strop that I've put the wrong type of, power steering on. I've not put power steering on at all, rather. Anyway, let's export it now. I think I've done everything I can do to the car. So, I've just made some changes to the wing angle and the, gearbox. and the suspension to make it work just a little better. And I think it's now ready to export as that face looks at me. Anyway, I'll join you on Beam. Do you hear a distant Subaru anywhere? Ah yes, the boxer engine sound. Speaking of which, I should probably have put more effort into the mufflers. I kind of just forgot about them, but anyway, you know, it's done now. It's not like there was much I could have done. I could have made slightly higher market values, but anyway, let's see the lights in action, front and rear. And really, just get going. Just look how brakes are tiny. Well, the front brakes are kind of what you would expect, but the rears are absolutely micro. Anyway, let's get going. One. And that was probably a bad start, but it wasn't so bad I can justify restarting. I managed to turn the ESC off and everything, and remember, this is 700-ish kilograms and rear-wheel drive. It should be quite bitey, but it isn't because it's got enough tyre grip. I actually read on the specifications of the car, it can apparently tow near 100 kilos heavier than the vehicle itself. And when the vehicle is this light, then that is an achievement. I guess the rear-wheel drive helps there. This is lovely. I was kind of expecting it to be honest, because there's so little power in a lightweight, agile body with a naturally aspirated engine, but yeah, it really is not bad. Oh, come on. I wonder how quick it will be. If I can set a 1:10 on the first lap, I would be quite frankly amazed. Oh. Yeah. I was going there. I mean, I had to curse a lap, didn't I, by saying something like that. But I knew the car was going, so I just let it basically have a bump. It feels mechanically fine. Worst case, I've dented a wheel. Still, I'm able to push this car. Whoa. I'm able to push this car, and I feel I can roll through the gears very nicely. Even though there's not a lot of power here, what I have is highly usable power. It's not like the supercars. And I feel seriously that this may be in with a shot of challenging front-wheel drives, because it really is an incredible vehicle to drive. Come on. Slow it into here. Right, delicate. I'm keeping it in third and now out the corner. Thankfully, there was actually a lump there on the course that actually helped me. I wouldn't say rescue the car, but helped it around the corner, because the car probably weren't going to destroy itself this lap, regardless of what happened. But yeah, it did just help ease it round the corner. Yeah, I guess being so small, you can use the environment to your advantage in such a way. Oh, I felt like I was going a bit slow up there, but it would have slid alright. Yes, it is still rear-wheel drive, and it will slide if you are completely stupid. Oh, come on, come on. No, no, don't. Keep it stable, keep it stable. That was so almost wrong. I think second lap is probably my quickest now, because I was struggling to keep that under control, and although I did eventually get it, I think I've lost too much time, honestly. I think I've lost too much time trying to recover that. Successfully trying to recover it, but trying to recover it nonetheless. And I just fight in the car. Because that is the problem, that front-wheel drive just never bite you. Whereas rear-wheel drives, even a nice one like this, can sometimes bite you. And, yeah... that is less than ideal, to say the least. Oh, come on. That was quite nice around that corner. It's only on 145, remember? Not the widest tyres in the world. Come on. Try and keep the revs up. Remember, it revs to 9,500. Which is very positive, I guess you could say. Come on. Right, I'm going to try and use as much speed as I realistically can into here. Come on. Surprisingly planted. But the second lap was still better. So, the Nyota glass of water, as I've called it, some people get that reference, I'm sure, is not near as fast as I would have suspected. Now, don't get me wrong, for a vehicle with 63 horsepower, and its own rather marvellous sound, might I add, it's not bad in the slightest. However, it has... Where is it? However, it has only just beaten the Bruxelles Legrand base by 200 milliseconds and the rental car by about 300, 400, so yeah, it's not the quick car you'd think. It beats economy cars, no problem, which I guess is ultimately what it is. It's a fancied up economy car which is low to the ground, but this is not as easy to control as it perhaps could be. If it had that slight easier bit to control, I could have probably beaten the twin-turbo Core 2 Duo sports car, which is a car just above it. That car is about a minute ahead of it, and all it would have taken is just being able to push this car to the very limits more of the time, which I was unable to do. Anyway, I'm going to finish off here. I feel I might as well, while I'm here, just see how quick a Kei Car can accelerate to 60 on dirt. So, come on. Whoa. Yeah. Apparently we hit a tree before we can hit 60. That's probably how most of these cars ended their lives, let's be honest. Because, as I was saying, they can snap on you at times. But with that being said and done, I'm going to leave it here today. So goodbye, until another day.